Hi everyone, welcome to this live interactive session where we will be discussing about how a typical or normal summer internship recruitment drive happens with various organizations. To get this discussion journey ongoing, let me also welcome our guest who is Mr. Anup Malhotra, who is the Vice President at North Star Diagnostic Private Limited on board. Welcome on board, sir,
Hi.
and thank you for taking time out for making this session to happen.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for having me.
So before we even begin with our discussion, which is all about knowing what recruitment drives are all about, how do you select students, how do you groom the interns in the organization, please brief us something more about the organization that you are in.
Okay, so we are from North Star Diagnostic Private Limited. We are a one-year-old startup, in the field of pathology and diagnostic. We are not a typical pathology company. We are a health tech company, where the difference between a typical diagnostic and pathology company in North Star is that we primarily focus on the preventive side of the pathology.
Okay.
So especially, on the after the onset of pandemic, there is a clear change in the people's preference towards diagnostic and pathology. Earlier, it was largely sickness and illness driven industry, wherein, if person has some kind of symptoms, they visit the doctor and the doctor prescribes certain tests. Now, people are more, I would say, proactively looking for about their health, what is the current status, and as a result, I would say the percentage of health checkup, which was initially in the range of 4-5% of the total market size, it has gone into the late 8 and 9 kind of thing, and going into the teens. So there is significant change in the pattern in which consumers are looking into this sector. And yeah, so we focus on the preventive side. It is always better, prevention is always better than the cure. And not only we talk about the preventive side, even our reports are smart reports. So instead of a typical pathology report, North Star reports are far more educative, far more visually correct, in a sense that with a glance you can find out what are the symptoms, what are the tests which need current immediate attention, and that helps the consulting doctor also in case client visits. So these are the things which differentiate North Star from others, and that's all.
So I can see a lot of scope of innovation in terms of defining the products and services, along with the important
Huge
reports, which you possibly will give it to either the doctors or the consumers to understand the preventive measures that they have to work upon.
Right? We also focus a lot on the corporate side of health checkup. A lot of corporates have now started focusing on the employee well-being and overall health. So we do a lot of corporate health checkups, where again our focus is not just to give an employee specific report, but also give a general insight and what is the overall health of the organization. And apart from that, we also give a lot of insights on the department wise, location wise, age wise, gender wise, so that the action which need to come out from those reports becomes very easy for the corporate.
So amazing.
Yeah.
So considering the nature of job, which is primarily into the health tech domain, what is the current role of summer interns who are joining the organization? What do these guys do? And more importantly, how do you guys groom them so that they become compatible enough to get a full-time job opportunity, to take a full-time job opportunity in either in your organization or possibly later on some other organization also? I'm sure there will be a lot of KPIs that you will judge the students' performance also on. So how do you define the overall project outcome from the given students who are joining this organization?
So as I said, we are a health tech company. So there are two distinct departments I would divide. One is the health related. So we take a lot of interns in the medical field, where MLT, BSc MLT, DMLTs, etc. They join. A lot of new pathologists, also doctors and MBBS MD, they join, and they work on the medical side, where the idea is to give the accurate and timely report to the clients.
Yeah.
Another part is the tech part, which is all about data analytics and finding insights. So
Okay.
giving a raw data is one thing, and getting insights from that raw data is another thing. This is where the real differentiator comes.
Okay.
So our focus is basically to analyze the data and present it in such a way that a client find it interesting, and is able to take a informed decision, I would call it. Now, the role of interns in data is critical, because I see interns as very raw, I would say that, mm, for the lack of better word, mm, I don't know how to describe it
I am.
probably.
These are fresh students who are just passed out of the first year of the
Yes.
MBA, joined the
So, but
campus.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it is up to us as an industry leader to mold it in such a way that their theoretical knowledge
Mhm.
is used in the practical world.
Got the point.
So one is that you have studied data analysis models, and you know how data mining is done, and data segregation is done, data cleaning is done, etc., etc. Another is to use it in the practical world, and really make insights out of it. So the major expectation from my organization from summer interns is basically to see whether they are able to do it,
Yeah.
whether they are mentally attuned to this kind of data analysis, where the clear focus is to find certain actionable insights.
Certainly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But is this like a purely operational stuff, or do you also have some client-facing roles which these students or summer interns who are joining from various colleges, do you give it to them?
Not right now. It is largely operations driven backend, where so by being in a health tech, we generate enormous data.
Yeah.
So, for example, if a person comes to us for a single test, approximately 50 odd fields are generated
Yeah.
for single test. And normally, a typical person takes 5 to 6 tests in one report.
Mm-hmm.
So you can understand what kind of data is generated, and
No doubt.
especially after onset, a lot of people are
No
going
doubt.
for health checkup.
Mm.
So huge data is generated. We put our summer interns to analyze that data, and then put it in a form where some insights, or can be
Got the point.
interpreted, kind of
Got the
thing.
point. Got the point. So while the process of recruitment is on, I'm sure various companies have their own protocol. Some of them conduct the aptitude test. Some of them will come for the case study discussion, or some of them will take a virtual interview. So, what is a normal procedure that happens with your organization? How do you
So
select students across various
yeah,
companies?
we start with the aptitude test. In my opinion, that is the foundation.
Hmm.
One is somebody's theoretical knowledge,
Hmm.
which obviously can be verified by the percentage and CGPA scores of that institute.
Hmm.
But ultimate difference between a successful contributor and not so successful contributor is their aptitude, and how they
Yes.
utilize their theoretical knowledge into the
Hmm.
practical world. So we start with aptitude test, followed by the HR interview. And once they are through with these things, and I would say that meet our expectation, then the final interview comes. We prefer face-to-face interview. However, in today's world, I mean,
No doubt.
virtual
No doubt.
interviews are
No doubt. No doubt.
normal things.
No doubt.
So that's how we select
Perfect.
an intern.
And at the same time, sir, what do you think? What are the important skills that, or the attributes that a summer intern should actually bring on board while joining the internship?
Well, I think the one of the key attitude which I try to see in the candidate is his willingness to learn, and
Okay.
at times unlearn.
Mm.
So theoretical knowledge is one thing, but when you enter into the practical field, there are a lot of things which you have to do.
Mhm.
and there is a practical side of doing the things. uh, the more adaptable this person is, the easier it becomes for him to adjust into the new realities of the world.
Of course.
So that is one thing. Another is observation capabilities or observation techniques of the person. So I mean, if I throw a data to 10 different individuals, maybe 5 of them will come with a different
Insight.
observation.
Yeah. Yes.
So if you have an eye for detail, if you have an eye to find out the hidden meaning,
Yeah.
that's one quality which will take you far. So
No.
these are 2 3 things which I look into
Mhm.
a candidate.
So amazing. So amazing. So finally, what are your final takeaway tips? What do you think you should student who's onboarding their journey of MBA college in the year 2022 should carry? I'm sure by the time they'll be starting their journey, a lot of companies will come for recruitment for the summer internship. Hardly in a span of 2 3 months, people get placed. So it's such a rapid fire thing that people either are so much pre-prepared that they know what the stuff is going to happen inside once they onboard a journey of a MBA or B school in the upcoming time. So what are your important takeaway tips that you want to give it to these students who are starting the journey now?
Well, I think I would advise candidates to
Hmm.
play on their strengths.
Hmm.
Not everybody is very good in everything. So somebody is very good in, let's say, communication, and somebody is very good in, let's say, analytics.
Yeah.
Somebody might be very good in terms of, theory, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. So I would suggest that, the candidate need to understand their own aptitude. They need to take aptitude test and then understand and discuss with their the mentors that what are their strengths and what are their areas of improvement, and then
Mhm.
try to play on their strengths. If you play
Okay.
on their strengths,
Mhm.
then uh, both probability of success as well as speed of success would be
Yeah.
very high,
Yes.
rather than focusing where you lack and then keep on working hard and try to improve. So
Mhm.
this is one key I would say message for
Yeah.
all the
So amazing.
upcoming, future leaders of India.
I'm sure looking at this video, a lot of people will be aspiring to join the organization which you are into as of now. And I'm sure you will
We
be
would love.
having a lot of opportunity to groom them to make them a successful MBA candidate in the upcoming time too.
We would love to do that. We
Thank you
would
so
love.
much, Anup sir, for taking your time out and making this
Thank
happen.
you. Thanks a
I'm
lot.
sure we'll
Looking
keep on
forward.
taking more sessions with you so that you can groom more such students. Thank you. Thank you,
Anytime.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.